One power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Welcome, everyone, to CSL Midtown, coming to you this morning from Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Maya Fuller, and I'm the moderator for today's service. We're so happy to have you here with us. Whether you're watching live online or in our Zoom room, or you're watching the replay, whoever you are and whatever path brought you to here today, please know that you are welcome and celebrated because we know who you are. You are an individual expression of the divine in which we all live. You are life's opportunity to be someone unique and wonderful. Whatever your ethnicity, background, religious affiliation, however you know yourself or describe yourself, we are glad you're joining us today. You're welcome to become a part of this community in whatever way serves you. And for a better understanding of who we are and what we teach, listen now to our Declaration of Principles as written by our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful, hey.
A practitioner is someone who has demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual laws to bring about great changes in their lives. They have demonstrated that they know how to bring about these changes in others when asked as well. Licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living, they're available to you to provide spiritual guidance and support in those areas where you are looking for assistance. You may contact them through the website cslmidtown.org. Today, we have one of our wonderful practitioners with us to share good ideas and an affirmative prayer called Spiritual Mind Treatment. Welcome the practitioner for this morning, Norma Roberts.
Good morning. Good morning, Maya. Thank you so very much for your introduction. Thank you again. You know, I'm wishing for everyone here today a wonder-filled day. A wonder-filled day as we are ending the month of Pride celebrations. You know, as I began preparing this message, I was acutely aware of the turmoil around us. But I'm also aware of the truth that wherever I am, God is. I know that God is peace, God is love, and love begets love. This was proven by the vast number of people participating in the relatively peaceful protest. It was in all 50 states. We saw people coming together, supporting one another. Many individuals have faced opposition and prejudice, including legislation that impacts their freedom and their rights. Although Michael Jordan, our star athlete, says every person has the need to be seen, to be heard, and to know that they matter. Despite these challenges, the community has shown remarkable solidarity and resilience. Our June 2025 Science of Mind magazine has some remarkable articles regarding our conditions today. This week, we're invited to celebrate both our unity and our diversity. Recognizing our divine connection often requires vulnerability and courage to support one another as we share our truth. While we may not always agree, each challenge presents an opportunity to practice emotional regulation, heal our own trauma, and use our voices to advocate for ourselves and others. Although we may not all agree with each other, we can all strive to practice unconditional love and acceptance. Engaging in uncomfortable conversation is an opportunity for growth and evolution. Even though growth can sometimes be painful, we invite everyone to speak up for DEI. This is what the fundamental principles of science of mind calls us to do. When we engage in disagreements, it's easy for us to shift our own frustration rather than acknowledging the spiritual nature of the person we are at odds with. What if we viewed every challenge as an opportunity to deepen our connection with one another? Just imagine how the world might transform if we truly saw the divinity in everyone. And now, let us prepare for our spiritual mind treatment. As I speak in the first person, take as much as resonates with you and allow everything else to just drop away. Just be comfortable now and take a deep cleansing breath. Close your eyes if you like and just be here now. There is but one life. That life is God. That life is my life right here and right now. God, the loving principle, is everything. I am is individual expression. I fully open my mind to the realization that there is a creative presence at the very core of my being. I know I am connected to the source of all life. I discipline myself to nurture my consciousness upward with powerful, life-affirming thoughts. My nature is spiritual. My demonstration is physical. I move through my days with a sense of peace, taking conscious charge of the choices I make, and the results demonstrate. I love myself the way I am becoming. In this awareness, I love and nurture myself in my acknowledgement that I am one in God with my family, my friends, and by extension, all humanity. It is now with great gratitude that I know wherever I am and whatever I'm doing, I am supported by divine consciousness. Divine mind guides and governs every person, everywhere, now and forevermore. And I awaken to the joy of life as I express love and happiness. Life is good, and I am truly blessed. In joyous celebration, I release my word to law. Confident, my demonstration is unfolding now. It is done. I let it be so, and so it is. And now, music for reflection.
If I just show up, be open to surprise, there could be miracles right before my eyes. If I just let go, something better might appear. Who knows what will happen when joy replaces fear? When I dare to be all that I'm meant to be, like a shooting star across the sky, unstoppable and free, I shine my light, I turn darkness into light. When I dare to be brave, dare to be brave, I'll trust in who I am, be bold and take a shot. Who knows what will happen when I give it all I got? Even when I'm scared, I'll step into the ring. Got so much to offer with the gifts that I can bring. When I dare to be all that I'm meant to be, like a shooting star across the sky, unstoppable and free, I shine my light, I turn darkness into light. When I dare to be brave, oh, I'm brave. I've worried for so long and I've wasted too much time. But now I'm ready to take a chance and claim what is mine. The path is free and clear, there's nothing in my way. I listen to my heart and not what other people say. I'm gonna take that leap, I've never felt so strong. I might not do it perfectly, but I'm right where I belong. And when I dare to be all that I'm meant to be, like a shooting star across the sky, I'm unstoppable and free. I shine my light, I turn darkness into light. When I dare to be brave, when I dare to be brave, nothing's gonna stop me, nothing is in my way.
Our speaker today is a respected leader and teacher in the New Thought movement, with more than 35 years of experience in spiritual study and practice. She's the author of over a dozen books, including Stained Glass Spirit, Becoming a Spiritual Community Where Oneness Does Not Require Sameness. She currently serves on the Global Leadership Council for Centers for Spiritual Living and has previously served on the boards of the Science of Mind Foundation and its Camp Cedar Ridge. She has been recognized with an honorary doctorate from CSL and is the only practitioner ever to receive the Ernest Holmes Award. Beyond CSL, she works nationally with organizations to help them reach their inclusion goals. And in her spare time, she's a passionate roller skater. Speaking on the talk titled, "And We're Still Together," please join me in welcoming Dr. Tracy Brown. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And we are still together. We are different races and ages, and we are still together. We have different gender identities and gender expressions, and we are still together. Our ancestors come from different countries, and we are still together. My neighbors speak different languages, and we are still together. My hobbies are different from yours, and we are still together. We believe in and honor different religions. We're still together. We may choose to vote for politicians from different political parties, and we are still together. Our children are a different generation with different values and different ideas, and we're still together. We work in different professions and different times of day and different expectations, and we're still together. The ways we learn and process information are different, and we're still together. We are still together, expressing, expanding, and evolving life. We are still together, despite unending efforts to separate us. We are still together, committed to studying and practicing universal principles of harmony, love, unity, peace, and joy. We are still committed. We are committed to love. Whew. As I was preparing for this time of us being together, the words I just shared came to me because I began to think about what does it really mean to and still be together, right? Because so many things around me, and probably you too, try to constantly tell me that we need to be separate from one another, that there is a power hierarchy, that there are different levels and we're not together, we're individual identity groups and all of them are at war with each other. But that is not the truth. And I was just in the previous 15 minutes reminded by the music and by Norma's beautiful spiritual mind treatment that we get to choose. We get to choose whether or not we attach ourselves to separation and division, or whether we choose instead to be together. So this month, throughout Centers for Spiritual Living, the global theme, as you probably know, is In Living Color. And many of our member communities around the globe are joining us as we focus this week on we are still together. And so for me, that basically goes back to a belief that is so strong within me that diversity is a divine idea. Meaning it is an idea of the divine. It is an idea of the creator that has created all of life. It is a divine idea, an absolute idea that has nothing to do with choosing it. We don't choose diversity. Diversity has been created by the creator, creating different kinds of people and different environments and different identities. That it's a divine idea. But too often I have heard people within CSL who study and practice science of mind say things like, well, Tracy, if we believe in oneness, why do we even need to talk about diversity? Maybe you've asked that question. Maybe you've been asked that question. But in general, people who ask this question are confusing oneness with sameness. They are not the same. Oneness represents our connection with the source that has created us. I am of that one, and everything and every person, but all of creation that has been created by this one source of life experiences oneness with that source. Sameness would mean that every one of us was exactly the same. So we share in common our source of life, but Ernest Holmes reminds us that the universal mind creates all knowledge and is ever expanding. Spirit experiences life through each one of us. No two of us is the same. Repeating, Ernest Holmes, quote, "The universal mind contains all knowledge and is ever expanding. Spirit experiences life through each one of us, and no two of us are the same." End quote. But even if you understand that, you may still be unclear about why we, within Centers for Spiritual Living, are deeply committed to building spiritual communities where oneness does not require sameness. And what I hope to share with you through my comments today are some of the basics that you can take in if you don't already know them, so that you can respond anytime you are asked that question. Or if you already know them, that you, like me, are being reminded in this time we share together today that our commitment to being inclusive and to valuing the diversity that is in humanity, it's not about being politically correct. It is not about pushing a partisan agenda. It is completely about recognizing the face of God in every person and then practicing unbound love in our actions, not just our words. So I believe diversity is a divine idea. It is not an accident. And one of the things that I actually have on the wall in my bathroom so that I'm reminded every day is a quote from my book, Stained Glass Spirit, Becoming a Spiritual Community Where Oneness Does Not Require Sameness. Here's the quote. "Ignoring the beauty and value and uniqueness of different types of people is the equivalent of ignoring God and refusing to see all the ways that God shows up as humanity. We don't do that with dogs. We don't do that with flowers. We don't do that with the trees or clouds or spices or nature or art. So why would we do it with humans?" End quote. ignoring the beauty and value of uniqueness of different types of people is equivalent to ignoring God and refusing to see all the ways God shows up as humanity. We don't do that with dogs or flowers, trees or clouds or spices or nature or art. So why would we do it with humans? Now, I know that when we say we believe that diversity is a divine idea, a lot of times we think about it in the clouds or spices or nature or dogs or flowers, and we forget about the nuances in humanity. But how would you act or behave differently if you truly believed that diversity is a divine idea and every person you come into contact with is another face of God? And we have practice doing this. We have lots of practice doing this. Just think about your family growing up. Birth family, adopted family, family of extended family, a family, friends, but especially biological family or adopted family when you were growing up. Now, maybe you're like me. I grew up with 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and the 5 of us all came from the same biological source in this case, but we could not be more different. Literally, all 5 of us were different. Now, there were, some similarities in some ways. One of my brothers and I were both left-handed, and the other 3 were not. We went to different schools. We were in very different age groups because there were big gaps between me, the youngest, and my oldest brother, who's 14 or 15 years older than I was. And I'll just focus on the 3 girls for a minute. We all came from the same source. We shared a last name, but our first names were different. We all had very different preferences, ideas, and styles. I was an introvert. One of my sisters was an extrovert. We had different things that we liked to do. And as we grew up, that didn't change. So it wasn't always easy. And I don't know how my parents did it, but they encouraged us to be our individual selves. There were rules that we all had to apply, had to live within, just like in society, right? We all sign up when we get our driver's license to stop at red lights, right? Or it would be chaos. We all, have accepted different rules of our neighborhood or our workplace or the community or our nation. And at the same time, we're still individuals. And so when I remember that, it's really easier for me to say, oh, that's right. Oneness is my connection with my spiritual source, but that does not require sameness. It's impossible for there to be sameness because we teach and know every individual is a unique emanation of that which has created all of life. So I just think of my sisters. What can you think of in your life or your experience? Is it family members? Is it a work group or a sorority or fraternity that you're in where there are commonalities, but the diversity in each person contributes something to the total? However, I am not in denial. I understand that multicultural can be messy, or engaging with in an authentic, honest, and deep way with people who are different from you can be messy. It is a part of the human experience. And that is why I constantly return to my spiritual truth to help me navigate the messiness of the diversity that exists, that God created. Does this make any sense to you? Like, Can you relate to that in your own life? So no matter where we are, where we go, who we are, we can never only be with people who are like us. So what happens? It's uncomfortable. Sometimes we're confused. There's miscommunication. There's stereotypes. There's stories we make up. But we have to remember, we are all a part of one life, even though we each have our own life. We are all a part of one life, even though we each have our own individual life. So we must be willing to stretch. We must get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And when you are first uncomfortable and you recognize it, you have a choice. You can run away, you can build walls, or you can become more comfortable by leaning in. And it can be a little messy. But you probably already have the skills to do that. I mentioned my sisters because part of what has helped me become comfortable with being uncomfortable have been recognizing I learned how to have very difficult conversations. I also learned that sometimes I didn't have to have a conversation. I just simply needed to accept that this sister is not me. And I still love her. And I still respect her. And I'm still curious about how she thinks and what she chooses. Because what she thinks and what she chooses does not require me to agree with her. And it definitely does not require me to approve of her. So when I think about people from different sexual orientation or gender identity groups than my own, when I think about people who are in a different generational group than my own, when I think about people who are from a different racial or ethnic group than my own, and I feel a little bit uncomfortable, I remember, oh, this is another way God is showing up, and it is not requiring my approval. It is not requiring me to be comfortable, but it does require me to accept the way that God is showing up in that person or in that group, and then to be curious about, wow, what is God doing here? How is God showing up? What is the spiritual foundation for this person's life? And more importantly, how do I walk my spiritual talk in my engagement with this group or with this person? Because bottom line, if we want to be inclusive, when we are in situations where we can show up and say, and we are still together, no matter the odds. We are still together, no matter that we're different from one another. We are still together, even though I don't always understand where this person's coming from. We are still together, being in a spiritual community that practices science of mind out in the real world. If I want to be able to say any of that, then I have to remember that inclusion requires action, not approval, not complete understanding of what's behind the scenes, but acceptance and respect and curiosity about how spirit is expressing itself. That's what's required if we want to be able to say, no matter what, we are still together. James Baldwin wrote to this, quote, "The moment we cease to hold each other The sea engulfs us and the light goes out. The moment we cease to hold each other, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out. We live in a world where there is a lot of polarity. We live in a world where there is a lot of chaos and confusion. We live in a world where social norms try to convince us that differences in humanity are bad. But we who study and practice science of mind, we who study and practice universal spiritual principles, we who are committed to the spiritual magnificence of each person, we must bring the unity and the harmony. We can't wait for somebody else to do it, because if we want to be able to say, and we are still together no matter what, still together to create a better world, still together to learn more and to be more, still together so that we all grow and prosper, then it's up to us to accept the diversity that God has created on purpose, and to demonstrate the spiritual attributes or characteristics that lead to the expression of unity and harmony, to be the example of love in our communities. And maybe like you, maybe like me, you can go to your family for an example of how many times you have forgiven, how many times you have gone to bat and really taken really strong action to protect your sister or brother, your cousin, your niece, your child. Because love is not just quiet and sweet and, oh, honey, I love you so much. It's not just that. It is also the time when you are so fierce about what you know is true and you are not going to let anyone hurt that person that you care about, because you are standing in love that they deserve to be respected and honored and seen as a whole person. That is love too. And maybe sometimes people say, oh, that's too aggressive, or, oh, you're so angry. No, not when it's motivated by love for that person, or love for that identity group, or love for humanity overall, the kind of love that Jesus represented when he took water from the Good Samaritan. It is the kind of love that is represented when you stand up or go to, maybe you were at the march that Norma talked about, that was peaceful. That was peaceful because it was taking a stand for love and respect, not a stand against polarity. But those two things cannot exist in the same place and time. So you replace the polarity with love. When you are committed by, and your movements and actions are driven by creating love or harmony or unity, then anything unlike it must dissolve, must be eliminated. So you don't have to fight that. You must stand for whatever it takes so that we all can be saying about our family, birth and otherwise, our family of humanity, if we want to really be able to say, and we are still together. It takes action. So I'm really aware that this week, this entire month, with the theme in living color within Centers for Spiritual Living, and this week, as we make a firm, solid, unbreakable commitment to live in a way that allows us to say, and we are still together no matter what. Then we must remember three things. One, diversity is a divine idea. And if that's a new thing for you, then I invite you this week to be thinking about, what does that really mean? And if I believed that, would some of my stereotypes and judgments about different groups of people begin to fade away? Two, multicultural can sometimes be messy. So it's time for me to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because of that place, when I step outside of my comfort zone, it's my growing zone or my learning zone. And as I learn more, my comfort zone begins to expand. Think back. If you did not grow up in the science of mind teaching, think back to when you first began to get involved. When you took that first Science of Mind 100 class or Foundations class, think back to that time when you were uncomfortable because it was information you didn't have before. You were uncomfortable when your friends or family said, "What church are you going to?" And you knew they were asking you about a Baptist, a Methodist, a Catholic, or a Jewish synagogue or a mosque. They were expecting the answer that they knew from your past. And you didn't know how to talk about. I'm a member of Centers for Spiritual Living, and we teach and practice science of mind, and this is what that means. You were uncomfortable, but you're comfortable now. So this whole idea of multicultural can be messy is something you already know how to navigate because you've done it before. Probably, if you're like me, in many different environments. And then number three, so number one, diversity is a divine idea. Number two, multicultural can be messy. And number three, inclusion requires action. What action will you take this week and beyond so that you can stand tall and confidently say, no matter what, we are still together? In the global themes suggestions for this week, the author of the notes and outlines for this month, Reverend Casey Taylor from Oklahoma City, wrote these two paragraphs. We are invited to move beyond the concept of a safe space and embrace the creation of a dedicated, brave space for healing conversations. This isn't just about comfort. It's about engaging deeply and courageously with one another to foster genuine understanding and connection. A world that truly works for everyone begins with our collective effort to be open, honest, and compassionate. Commit to this transformative journey together, making our space one where courageous conversations are not only welcomed, but embraced as a path to deeper understanding and unity. I invite you to take that in and to find your place of commitment in that process of having difficult conversations and expanding your own understanding of what it means to truly be a representative of the love and the unity and the harmony that we are committed to within Centers for Spiritual Living. And I want to close with an Ernest Holmes quote. He wrote, "We should refuse to be influenced by the appearances of discord and separation, but should always feel the unity of good, the oneness of God, and the solidarity of all life. Ernest Holmes. My name is Tracy Brown, and I hope you will join me in this commitment to be someone who can honestly say, I have done my part to make sure we are still together. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. Tracy, for that powerful, supportive, community building message. We are grateful for your presence and your wisdom today. Thank you so much. And to you, our community joining us online, if you'd like to continue the conversation with Dr. Brown, we invite you to join us in our Zoom room right after the service for an opportunity to connect with one another and discuss and share your thoughts and speak directly with Dr. Tracy Brown. You can find the Zoom link on our website, cslmidtown.org. And now is the time to hold the vision for calling in our new minister together. With faith, clarity, and open hearts, we invite you to join us in reading our sacred covenant prayer.
Know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express Spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of Spirit as principle. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God. For it is written, principle is not bound by precedent. It operates according to law, and it is always available to those who are willing to align themselves with it. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as inspiring spiritual oneness through wisdom, love, and authenticity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am inspired to live as love in the expression of principle. I am awakening the wisdom within me by clearly communicating the principles of universal truth. I am a conduit of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy, recognizing the inherent wholeness within all beings. I am offering teachings, classes, and mystical studies grounded in spiritual principles to cultivate inner wisdom, personal transformation, and empowered living. I am extending the love, compassion, and transformative power of Spirit into the wider community, fostering connections that heal, uplift, and support individuals in their unique journeys. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will express Spirit and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is.
So it is. Now is the time in our service when we turn to the spiritual practice of giving, participating in the sacred flow of circulation. To make your contribution, you can scan the QR code on the screen or visit www.cslmidtown.org/donate. As we give, we align with the infinite source that always meets us with more than enough. Let's speak our giving affirmation together with open hearts. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. Thank you so much for your generous giving and for being an essential part of this loving, abundant community. Now, let's take a moment to share the announcements and upcoming opportunities. Our June 2025 theme is In Living Color, a celebration of authentic, soul-filled living. Next Sunday, June 29th, join us online for a powerful message from Reverend Nicholas Gunn entitled Living Out Loud. Don't forget, our Sunday morning discussion group meets every week at 10 a.m. on Zoom, when we explore the Science of Mind textbook together. It's a great space for learning, sharing, and spiritual growth. And if you haven't already, we invite you to download the Sacred Covenant Easy Prayer from the CSL Midtown website. Use it in your own practice and feel free to add it to your personal I am statements as we continue to call in our new minister together. And now, as we close our service, let's speak our closing affirmation together. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. Thank you for being with us today. What a beautiful time of connection, reflection on our diversity within our oneness, and a beautiful time of spiritual growth. As we close, remember the message doesn't end here. You're invited to join us right now on our Zoom room for a continued conversation and community. It's a wonderful opportunity to share your insights, ask questions, and connect directly with others. You'll find the Zoom link on our website at cslmidtown.org. So until we meet again, friends, go in peace, live in joy, and remember, you are the light that the world needs. Have a blessed week. We'll see you soon.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey! Oh yeah. Grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful. Every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. I'm so grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am. I am. So grateful, hey, grateful. I just count my blessings. Grateful. I just count my blessings.
There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.